This is microwaved opinions. Basically just hot takes, but worse. This opinion's on the Nintendo Switch too. Now firstly, I'll just do a quick explanation of what this series is going to be. You can skip this if you want. So basically, this series is just going to be me reviewing things in my own fashion, just with the idea of either making you laugh, informing you, just my overall take on something. Now, if you haven't gathered yet from the title, this is going to be about my opinions on the Nintendo Switch 2's Direct so far, and what I think it's going to be like. Nintendo Direct animation. Very nice. Okay, yep. I did know about this new Mario Kart open world. It seems really cool. No, this isn't even about the game. Let's try to find something more related to the Switch.
Next, we'd like to introduce some of the new features of Nintendo Switch 2. These are the Joy-Con 2 controllers.
They look a lot different. That's for sure.
And on the right Joy-Con 2, we've added a new C button.
Oh, I did not know this.
Let's take a look at some new experiences it offers.
Alone?
I'm still ahead of all of you guys. Woo!
Who are you talking to?
That was me. That was you. Oh.
Introducing Game Chat, a new feature for Nintendo Switch 2.
You already know what this is gonna look like. Now we're on to the first segment, which is the Game Chat feature. And oh boy, this isn't gonna end well. Now, it does sound like they're using a Switch 2 type microphone, but since it's isn't out yet, there's no guarantee that this is going to be the final product.
Communicate with friends and family while playing a game.
Should we follow you? Yeah.
Now, this sounds believable enough, but I honestly don't know since the Switch 2 hasn't been released yet. And judging by that little microphone all the way over there, that's just unrealistic. Although we are yet to see if this is going to be an actually amazing feature or hot garbage. And I'm obviously hoping it's the former, and who wouldn't, and this seems like an amazing idea. I'm just not sure about the execution.
Pick up your speaking voice clearly, even from a distance.
Sure.
Alright, let's keep going. Let's make up.
Now that is a little less believable due to the actual fact that a lot of microphones don't really do that for such a price, and being included with a Switch and being able to do that sounds like false advertising. Now, being able to screen share is actually really cool. I give them that, and it also looks like it's realistic quality, which I do like. This looks realistic and it looks good. Honestly, for the quality of it, it seems realistic and everything like that. I'm glad they were honest about it. They also point out how you can play different games and you can screen share that, but if you couldn't, I'd be surprised. I mean, that's just like a part of any good game chat. They're also including a camera feature where you can see your friends, and I think this is a unique part. You can do a green screen type thing with it. That's real cool, and it looks realistic. And I think, yeah, it's actually one of the best features, just because of a lot of things it can do. And that's not the coolest part, because if you look here in a sec, just look at that. You can actually use the, it's there inside of the game. It's insane. No? It's very cool in my opinion. That's awesome. Now you do see at the bottom of the screen, it says Game Chat is not included normally, and you have to have a Nintendo Switch Online membership. And C is used for Game Chat. I honestly give this feature a solid 4 of the 5 eggs out of 10. Seems really cool. And that is the part of the Game Chat all done. Look at that. Switch 2 camera. Now I'm pretty sure it's not included. Yeah, it's available the same day.
A Nintendo Switch Online membership will be required to use Game Chat.
That makes sense.
Controller to a friend and play together.
But on Nintendo Switch 2, you can play together locally on multiple systems using just one game, with GameShare. As shown here, even games that require multiple screens can be played if one person owns a compatible game. With GameShare, you can temporarily share compatible games with others who also have Nintendo Switch 2.
Okay, so quick side note. I literally just realized while editing this, they've done this before. On the Nintendo Switch 2, they're re-adding it, but they did this on the 3DS. I remember playing it with my brother. Like, they did this before, and GameShare's only selectable titles. I think 3DS was almost every single multiplayer title known to mankind. Anyways, back to the video. It's amazing.
GameShare support is also planned for select games exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2.
They just make a lot more of the games just GameShare.
Up next,
If not all of them that are multiplayer.
we'd like to show you the Nintendo Switch 2 system itself.
Oh, wow.
Please take a look.
13 minutes in. Okay.
At 7.9 inches, Switch 2 has a bigger built-in screen.
7.9
Here's
inches,
how that
good.
compares to Nintendo Switch. The
Yeah.
system's thickness remains the same.
By definition.
With approximately double the pixels compared to Switch, you can enjoy games in greater detail on the 1080p screen.
Cool.
The screen supports up to 120 frames per
120
second,
FPS
allowing for
only available in
smoother
compatible
gameplay in
games.
supported titles.
That probably means it's gonna be a bit finicky upon release, so.
The LCD screen is more vivid and supports HDR,
Looks nice.
providing more contrast
By
between
definition,
light and dark
resolution.
areas of the images.
Yeah, I noticed that.
The all-new Joy-Con 2 controllers
The main problem
connect
that might be
magnetically.
is
Strong
I don't know how
magnets
they're gonna
keep the
figure out
controllers
how to
firmly attached
disable
to
the
the
magnets.
system. Detach your controller
But,
easily by pressing the release button on the back.
They're gonna find a way. It's explained later inside of the damn direct.
The SL
that is a huge
and SR
improvement.
buttons
Those
are
SL and
bigger
SR buttons
for greater
were
comfort
horrible.
and control
Like, actually,
when
they
playing
were.
with a Joy-Con 2 held horizontally. The left and right sticks are now larger.
I get that could be useful. That could be definitely useful for a couple people.
Each Joy-Con 2 controller can be used as a
Okay.
mouse to play with compatible games. Both
Okay. Pause. What in the world is Nintendo planning if we need to use Joy-Cons as mouses? Like, actually. That's insane.
the left and right Joy-Con 2 support mouse controls. By adjusting the audio balance between the ranges, sounds from the built-in speakers are clearer and more natural in handheld and tabletop modes.
Yep, that was
It has a built-in microphone, so you can voice chat with friends anytime via game chat. It also uses noise-canceling technology to filter sounds, so your voice will come through clearly.
Not all voice technology is perfect. I wonder how that one will go. How are you gonna create spatial audio without like headphones? You know, close. It's gonna be really hard, but
Even if you don't have a surround sound system, games
3D audio only available in excuse me, only available in compatible games. Via the built-in speakers requires a system update.
can be enjoyed with more immersive, three-dimensional sound, as
No,
if
I'm
it were
wearing
coming
headphones
from
right now.
all around you.
I'm wearing headphones right now that obviously provides 3D sound because they're using 3D sound here. Question is, this literally does nothing. That literally does nothing right there to prove that the Switch 2 is using spatial audio. I'm very curious to see how it works out, but I'm just a bit worried how they're going to pull it off without headphones.
Place your Nintendo
stand
Switch
is
2
amazing.
however you like,
Like,
with
I
a
love
large,
this.
sturdy stand.
Now, the only thing I'm worried about is that it looks a bit flimsy, actually, because it seems so small compared to the weight of the Switch it also has to hold. My worry is the materials it's made out of, and it might break.
Move it freely, like this. In addition to
Now
the
this-
USB-C port found on the bottom of the system, there's one
This-
on top as well.
This is legendary right here. This is beautiful. This is amazing.
It's
We
handy
love
for
this.
connecting a USB-C camera or charging in
Now
tabletop
that,
mode.
this is awesome. And that's a new Switch charger. For reference, this is the old Switch charger. I'll just put that up on screen. That's just beautiful right there. That's
Nintendo Switch 2 comes with 256 gigabytes of internal storage.
storage
8 times
was a gigantic problem for the Switch, in my opinion. So this is going to help with a lot of it. Portion of internal storage obviously reserved for use, but it depends if they're advertising this as 256 gigabytes of free space or overall. Probably overall.
that of Nintendo Switch for storing your game downloads, save data, and more. Reading and writing data is
No, it running faster is just expected. It's a newer console.
also faster. Use the Nintendo Switch
Compatible games require compatible display, obvious. But compatible games, also obvious, I
dock
think, at this
to
point.
connect to your TV and enable
Very sleek. I like how it looks.
up to 4K resolution.
Even if I already done it before, it's possible to upscale and output 4K if the television supports it. That's really good to know.
For
And that makes sense
compatible
as well.
games. HDR is also supported in
Maximum 60 FPS for 4K.
TV mode.
Wait a minute. Hold up, chat. What is 4K? All right. So they're close, but it isn't 4K. It's very close. It's not true 4K though. Back to video. That makes sense.
The Nintendo Switch 2 dock has a built-in fan
Now, one thing I'm actually worried about here. The fan, obviously,
that keeps your system
amazing.
cool.
I
This
love
helps.
this. But the original Switch had a horrible, horrible problem with heating. And I'm wondering, they haven't shown anything about actual handheld mode heating as well with this. Is it going to do the same thing as the Switch 1, where it has a horrible handheld heating? Or is it just going to fix with more fans? Because I don't see a difference with fans on this thing yet.
Keep performance stable. On Nintendo
Some Nintendo Switch games may not be supported or fully compatible with Nintendo Switch 2. I guess that makes sense, but at least that's probably the biggest upside to this thing, backwards compatible. If it wasn't, nobody would buy this thing.
Switch 2, you can play Nintendo Switch 2 games, as well as compatible Nintendo Switch games. Physical and digital games are supported.
It looks really good. In my opinion, it looks amazing, right? Now, onto the specs of the Switch 2. Now I'm going to be comparing the OLED and the Switch 2. OLED. 4 inches high, 9 inches long. Those are 7.71 pounds, 0.73. 7-inch screen. 64 gigabytes. 1080p. Power button, volume button. Nintendo Switch, Type C. This makes sense. For instance, the battery will approximately last 5.5. That's a bit strange, but okay. Approximately 3 hours while charging the hardware in sleep mode. Okay, Switch 2 specs. 8.8 pounds. That makes more sense. 7.9, a lot bigger. Bigger. It is a custom processor made by NVIDIA. So it's custom. Wi-Fi 6. TV mode, wired LAN, Bluetooth, 256 portion of it. Yep. 1980 1080 for tabletop and handheld. Output via HDMI 4K right here. When the TV mode. Output 5.1 inch stereo. Kirkon quality. Built-in microphone. Yep. Power buttons. 2 USB-C ports. Micro SD cards. Up to 2 terabytes, which is good. Definitely. Lithium-ion battery. 3 hours while the sleep is in 2 to 6.5 hours. That is a lot lower than the original Switch. Like the Switch OLED right here. I understand because it uses more like power and stuff, but still it's a bit I guess it's alright, but it's a bit worrying. So looking at this stuff, let's just get back into the Direct for a little bit. But before we do that, let's take a deep dive into the specs. So looking side by side, we can see the differences here, and my writing may be a little crappy, but I can make it out at least. So if you look, you could see quite a big difference in the charge, hour life, FPS, USBs, lots of good differences. If you want to go over this a bit more while you pause the video, go ahead, but we'll move on to the next segment.
We redesigned the system from the ground up and packed in lots of new gameplay features. And to help players better understand the Switch 2 hardware, we're currently developing this game. Mr. Kawamoto!
Hello. My current location is actually inside the game itself. This is Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2.
Now with this looks really cool, and this reminds me of Nintendo Land on the Nintendo Wii, and I really wish they'd bring this back with this. It'd be so amazing, and if it is, I'm gonna be so happy. Like, the Nintendo Land was an amazing game.
I'm standing over here. Okay, everyone, join me inside the game. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour will launch as a paid digital game on the same day as...
Paid. They should make this free, or at least provide more depth on how to use the actual system on stuff like YouTube like this. Because, wait until I get to the price of this thing.
As Nintendo Switch 2. So please check it out if you're interested.
Now, I'd like to share some more information regarding Nintendo Switch 2. This is the game card for Nintendo Switch 2 titles. It's the same shape as Nintendo Switch game cards, but it's now red, and it has much faster data reading speeds. Next up is additional storage.
Oh,
Switch 2
unique.
will only work with micro SD express cards. They're a different type of SD card and will make high-speed data transfers possible.
Micro SD express cards, so I don't know how much one of those cost. So you want more additional storage? Let's just look at this. Micro SD express cards. Now, this is about 100. See this? Nintendo. They're like for the Nintendo Switch. Right here. 1 terabyte. Around $150 Canadian from what I'm gathering. Which is alright, I'd say.
Please note that regular micro SD cards used for Nintendo Switch will not be compatible.
That's
Additionally, to
sad.
transfer data from Switch to Switch 2, you can log into your Nintendo account to use the system transfer feature.
That makes sense.
With it, we're also releasing a new
Switch to Pro controller, yep.
It has a C button.
Okay, authorization has not been, so this might not even be like the
Very much looking
June 5th,
forward.
2025 is amazing.
These games take the second of the
Okay, hold up. They're going into games now. Now, from what I gathered, I watched the rest of the Direct and I didn't see much else about the Nintendo Switch 2, mainly about the games, and they look really cool, but it's not what this is about, so we're gonna go into the actual Nintendo Switch 2 price now. So I think the last part of this should be related to the pricing, so the thing is, last time I checked, this was at $4.99 MSRP, I swear. Now, I don't know if this is going off of my price in Canada, or it's going off of the actual American price, but this is insane. Now, there's not really much I have to add in the edit, because I said everything I needed to say in the live, because this price is outrageous. And a couple minutes I spent here trying to look for the game prices. I can't, but I do know that physical games have been increased to $90 American, and digital games have been increased to $80 American, which translates to around 120 Canadian for physical and 100 for digital, which is insane. I don't know if I'm an idiot, but I just couldn't find the prices, so I'm just telling you here. And something I almost forgot to mention is the fact that they're making the upgrades for games, like how you can do that on the PS5. Yeah, they're making those $30. And the new Pokemon game? Yeah, that has to be upgraded. And there's like no free upgrades. Sucks. Now, these are my closing thoughts. I think this system is actually amazing. Like, everything about it is great, except for its price. Its price is just horrible, and I really think it'd be a lot better if we didn't have to deal with the like $600 price tag here. It's insane, but it's what we have to deal with, so I don't really have any other closing thoughts other than this console is gonna be amazing. It's gonna be really expensive. Like, it looks amazing. It's just gonna be expensive. That's it. And I'm really looking forward to it. Anyways, that's it for this video. So if you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe. Tell me in the comments if you like this and you want me to continue it as a series. And, yeah. Peace.